The time is 4 o'clock. We bring to you news around Africa. Ships carrying Chinese troops are heading to Djibouti to set up Beijing's first overseas military base. China says the support base will be used for peacekeeping and humanitarian aid in Africa and West Asia and for military cooperation, naval exercises, and rescue missions. The ships departed from the port city of Zhejiang in China's southern Guangdong province on Tuesday. The report says the Djibouti base came after friendly negotiations between the two countries. The newspaper pointed out that the US, Japan, and France also have military bases in Djibouti, a tiny country at the Horn of Africa favored for its location as it sits near a bushy shipping route. South Africa's Communist Party (SACP), a key ally of the ruling African National Congress (ANC), has banned President Jacob Zuma from addressing its Congress this week. The party spokesperson Lingiwe Nkoyane says the decision was based on Mr. Zuma's political problems. It will be the first time that President Zuma, who came to power in 2009, has not addressed the Congress held every 4 years. Communist Party has been increasingly critical of Mr. Zuma and called him to step down after his alleged scandals and his connections to the controversial Gupta family, which is said to have undue influence over his government, a situation that has negatively affected ANC's public support. In May, he was forced to abandon a rally after he was jeered by the crowd, and the SACP said it did not want the same to happen at its event. Mr. Zuma is due to step down as ANC leader in December and as national president ahead of the 2019 election. Sudan has asked the United States to permanently scrap 24-year-old sanctions imposed on it, warning that the country could fall back into war if the sanctions are reapplied. The Obama administration temporarily lifted the sanctions in January, tying their permanent removal to a series of conditions imposed on Sudan, including enhanced counter-terrorism cooperation with the U.S. in unhindered access for aid groups and a cessation of conflict between armed groups in Sudan. Speaking on state radio, Sudanese Foreign Minister Ibrahim Gando warned that fighting between the government and rebels, which has killed at least 300,000 people since 2003, could resume if the U.S. switches the sanctions back on. On Monday, the United Nations country team in Sudan voiced support for the removal of U.S. sanctions against Sudan, acknowledging marked improvements in humanitarian access over the past 6 months as a result of improved engagement between the governments of Sudan and humanitarian actors. The U.S. imposed the sanctions in 1997 for Sudan's alleged support of Islamist terror groups. Suspects behind the March 2015 attack on the Bardo Museum in the Tunisian capital Tunis, in which 21 foreign tourists and a police officer were killed, have appeared in court. The so-called Islamic State claimed the attack. A defense lawyer, Samir Ben Ammar, says that 21 detained suspects, including 2 women, were present at the unannounced hearing. Another defense lawyer, Rafiq Gok, says that nearly 30 people are also being tried in absentia. None of the suspects were named. In an effort to save one of Africa's last desert elephant heads, Mali has employed Mitch, Bobby, and Ami Dutch spaniels with a nose for sniffing out illegal ivory. The spaniels are the newest members of an anti-poaching brigade set up to dismantle ivory trafficking networks that have devastated elephant heads in Mali. Poaching has been rampant since Tuareg rebels and Islamists took over the north of the country in 2012. Only about 300 elephants are left in Mali. About 167 have been slaughtered since fighting broke out in 2012 and a system of local self-policing fell apart, the Environment Minister said earlier this year. Elephant tusks from Mali are thought to be sold on the black market for up to $5,000. That was Africa Today. I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan. Good afternoon.